Namaste to you all and welcome from Dhananjaya Kumar. In the last episode, first episode, I introduced this topic, how I met Satyajit Ray, whom I prefer to call, of course, Manikda. How I met Manikda first time and how I got engaged with him in the very important mission. So the journey continues in this episode as well. When he came to Washington, it was part of a big plan that we will present Shatranj ke Khiladi, the chess players, to the larger audience, the mainstream in USA and Canada. And as part of that trip, we had planned to travel together, myself, Manikda, the producer Suresh Jindal, who had become my good friend by then, had joined. He had come from India too. And the senior actor, finest actor, Saeed Jafri, who was living in London those days, so he had also joined. And Sir Richard Attenborough had joined us only in Los Angeles for a few days when we were attending Los Angeles International Film Festival. So the journey began in Washington, and I gave you a wonderful episode in Washington, D.C., going from downtown D.C. to Dulles International Airport, and how one of the great fans of Manikda, a police officer, saved me from getting into trouble. It was very interesting. So in this travel as a group, one person we tried to get but missed was Shabana Azmi. She was eager to come, but somehow, because of certain reasons, she was unable to join us. So after Washington, we went to many other towns, big cities, Chicago, Boston, San Francisco, Berkeley, Los Angeles, New York. And in each of those events, we had wonderful reception from the media, from the industry, film industry groups, and from the general public. We had prepared a media kit with lots of detailed information, and that was very much appreciated. We had good press coverage in major newspapers, New York Times, Washington Post, LA Times, etc. So I will mention just one small but very interesting, humorous experience in our next stop in Chicago. As you may know, and I know it very well also, that Manikda was a wonderful but reticent speaker. He spoke with his thick, heavy voice that sometimes intimidated his listeners or interviewers. And I'll tell you that story also. But in few words, he used to convey big meanings. That was one of his unique qualities. In Chicago, there was a big event, and the auditorium was full with maybe close to 1,000 people. And after the screening of the film, he was interacting with audience and some other guests on the stage. So one person raised his hand and started asking a question. He said, Mr. Ray, in your movie, you have taken many good actors. Sanjeev Kumar was a good actor. But why did you not take Amitabh Bachchan instead of Sanjeev Kumar? A very strange question. So Manikda quickly replied, the question was, why did you not take Amitabh Bachchan, who was a very popular actor by then already? Why not take Amitabh Bachchan instead of Sanjeev Kumar? So Manikda answered, yes, why not? That was it. And the person got the message that he is asking an irrelevant question. So even at television interviews, I noticed one time in Los Angeles, LA Times, big name journalist was interviewing him at a TV studio for Public Broadcasting System, PBS. And they were facing each other, and the technicians were recording. And in between the interview, when I was sitting a little bit away from the camera, of course, that the interviewer was sweating in conversation with Satyajit. He was sweating, and the makeup person used to come, bring a towel, wipe his face, put some powder, puff it up, and then interview. This happened 2 or 3 times in about an hour-long interview. So that was a very interesting thing. Often people used to get slightly intimidated talking to Satyajit Ray standing tall in front of anyone. And you ask a question and he would give an answer that will flabbergast you, you know. So this quality I found very interesting in him. He spoke less but spoke well, not only well, but with deep meaning. Thank you. I'll come back and continue this story.